Good morning, hodlers. All right, so it's July 10th, and oh boy, we've had the market crashing. Mount Gox was the first um, exchange where people could buy and trade, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. They got hacked back in 2014. All of the people who had their money on the exchange, they're in the process of getting paid out. We also have Germany deciding to dump all of their Bitcoin on the open exchanges, which is very interesting. Normally, if you're doing such a big sell, you would go to, it's called OTC, over the counter markets. So you're not disrupting the price of Bitcoin, but they're just dumping it on the open markets on centralized exchanges. So this is where we're at. No need to be worried, right? I mean, the whole point of this, and what I always say every single week, is that we're moving into a new economy. And that economy is going to be put on the blockchain. And like so many times, it's like, well, how do I know this? How do I know that we're moving to a new financial system on the blockchain? Well, I check out websites like RWA.xyz. 3 months ago, I made a podcast, check it out. And I showed everybody this website for the first time. And I just want to kind of go back from 3 months to where we are today and how many assets have been put on the blockchain. Okay. So this is so cool. So as you can see from the screen, this is all the tokenization of the United States Treasury. So when we think about tokenization, just think of a digital version of a dollar, right? So we're digitizing United States Treasuries and we're putting them on the blockchain, way more secure, okay? And that's like super important. We've all gotten like either our identity stolen, all of our data's been leaked. Facebook, Home Depot, Target, our banking systems, even our government, they've all been hacked and our data gets leaked over and over again. And the blockchain is going to solve this problem, okay? Just because it's way more secure, it's way more decentralized. There's no longer one point of failure. We're distributing all of these computer systems all over the world. So if one of them gets hacked, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of other systems all around the world that it doesn't miss a beat. Okay, super important to try to like wrap our heads around this. So 3 months ago, I pulled up the tokenization of United States Treasuries, and we were at, let's see here, just over $1 billion. So in 3 months, we've added almost an additional $1 billion to the tokenization of the United States Treasuries. So I encourage everyone, again, go to rwa.xyz and just play around with this website, right? Because you could be like, well, what blockchain projects are tokenizing United States Treasuries, right? Because that's a great question. So let's just scroll down and find out. Oh, rank number one, Ondo Finance. We've been talking about Ondo for a while now. So they're the number one leading blockchain tokenizing United States Treasuries, partnered with BlackRock, which is the largest asset management company in the world with about $10 trillion of assets under management. Ondo is tokenizing United States Treasuries for BlackRock. Okay. Number two is Securitize. Now, this is super exciting because most people would just look at Securitize and not even understand what it is. But Securitize is partnered and they're using Ethereum and they're also using the XDC network, tokenizing treasuries. So soon enough, when you look at the market caps and you could see how Ethereum's got $1.3 billion of tokenized treasuries already, they are the leader, they are running. Also, don't forget Ethereum spot ETF, where you could just go to your broker and have exposure in a centralized way to Ethereum, that should be I'm guessing it's going to be posted, I don't know, maybe by the end of July, August, but it's coming soon, right? Even if it's September, just like that spot Bitcoin ETF was approved, the Ethereum ETF was approved, and it's going to be going live within the next month or two. Okay. Now, third on the list is Franklin Templeton. This is a company I've been talking about for a while. I believe they have about, I don't know, like $1.4 trillion assets under management, so they're coming in third. They use multiple different blockchains, but Stellar is definitely leading the pack, with Franklin Templeton. And you could see that Stellar in this circle is yellow, and it has 410 million. And again, it's like when I talk about this, we have $1.8 billion that have been tokenized for United States treasuries. That 1.8 billion is going to turn into 5 billion, 10 billion, 20 billion, 100 billion. And it's just going to go because the entire world is being tokenized and put on the blockchain. All right. So the other thing I wanted to point out is private credit. 3 months ago, private credit was at $610 million being tokenized. Boom. So we went from 610 million to over 8 billion in 3 months. This makes me super bullish. I don't care about the price of Bitcoin. I don't care about the price of crypto today, because I know that the future of finance is being built on the blockchain, right? So it's just a matter of how much time can you be in the market for, right? All right, so this is really, really cool. So we have over $8 billion exponential growth, right, for tokenizing private credit. Now, the other thing, 3 months ago, if you check out my podcast and you see right here, it says asset classes, stable coins, United States treasuries, global bonds, private credit, commodities, stocks, carbon credits, private equity, real estate. Every stock, every bond, every commodity, everything of value is being tokenized and put on the blockchain. 3 months ago, when we went to this website, it was private credit, United States treasuries, stable coins, and real estate was coming soon. So now we have carbon credits, stocks, commodities, global bonds, right? So this is just going to keep growing. And I just wanted to point this out because, when I look at the market and I'm looking at Bitcoin and I'm just like, wow, we were at about $73,000, crash all the way down to 57,000, but again, a year ago, Bitcoin was at 30 grand. All right. This extremely volatile market. Okay. The prices, we're not stable. This is an emerging market. It's a very small market. Okay. So we have just over $2 trillion on the whole cryptocurrency. All of the projects are worth about 2 trillion. Okay. Very small market cap when we think about BlackRock, one company being worth over 10 trillion. We're early. We're early. So if you have any doubts, if you're getting nervous, your cryptos are down in value, we just hodl. Hold on for dear life, because 6 months from now, it's going to look a lot different, in my personal opinion. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But when I look at where the world is moving to the tokenization and digitization of all real world assets, I can't help but to be bullish and look at these downward trends in the market as buying opportunities, right? We dollar cost average slowly into these projects, and then, we'll dollar cost average out. All right. So this is just super cool. This is definitely something I wanted to show you. Really interesting. Carbon credits, I believe, are going to be a big new asset class that's going to get plugged into our current financial system. And look, whether we want this or not, this is the system that most people live in. Okay. So, as an average person, I can't stop them from having a carbon credits market, right? We might need carbon credits to drive. We might need carbon credits to, buy meat. Companies will offset their carbon credits, right, by lowering their emissions. So it's super complicated. It's going to be a big emerging sector. But again, we are so early, right? Because when you look at what's being tokenized now and the hundreds of trillions of dollars that are still out there waiting to be tokenized, I'm super bullish, not worried about the day-to-day prices of crypto. All right. So what I wanted to do, because one of the things that, I've really been talking about is, again, over and over, the future of finance is moving to the blockchain. And the CEO of Circle, his name is Jeremy Allaire. He had this awesome tweet. So I thought for the rest of the podcast today, I wanted to have story time with y'all. And I want to read Jeremy Allaire's tweet to you because it's uplifting. It's super deep. It really makes you think, but it also validates everybody who's here. Okay. Because when in doubt, we got to zoom out. All right, cool. So let me pull up this tweet here and I'm going to read this to you guys and it'll be on the screen for everybody to go back to double check. But this tweet was probably out, I don't know, maybe like a week and a half ago on X. And again, this is Jeremy Allaire. He's the CEO of Circle. Circle is backed by Goldman Sachs. They created the United States digital coin. So the USDC is going to probably be the first regulated stable coin in the United States. Okay, this is a really big deal. Circle also has the USD, or not the USD, the EURC, which is the euro coin for Circle, this stable digital euro for the European Union, and that just went live. All the MiCA regulation went live, right? So Jeremy Allaire knows what he's talking about, and we're going to get into it. All right. So this is Jeremy. I'm more super bullish than I have ever been about crypto. I've been building at Circle for over 11 years, and at no time I've been more optimistic than right now. I also believe that the overwhelming majority of people have an extremely narrow and limited understanding of what's unfolding. And that's super bullish too. This post explains why I'm so optimistic. My perspective here draws on closely watching internet technology adoption life cycles over the past 35 years. We've seen an unrelenting march of open networks, open protocols, and open software with layer upon layer of infrastructure on the internet that deepens its utility for society and the economy. Each successive wave has transformed major industries, improving utility for people, inverting or transforming unit economics, and opening up radical new possibilities. The collective contribution of an open IP to this ongoing internet revolution actually appears to be accelerating, and crypto seems like it's on the cusp of catapulting society and the economy forward in tremendously powerful new ways. 11 years ago, when Sean and I were thinking about this space, it was totally apparent that crypto represented the next logical layer of infrastructure for the internet. Internet infrastructure had enabled frictionless nearly free movement of data, and seamless ability to connect and deploy software and hardware on a global network. And it was clearly struggling with its own success and weight. The internet lacked a layer of trust, and without it, it was capped in terms of the utility it could provide to the world. There was no way to have fully trusted data, transactions, or compute, which led to deepening dependencies on hyper-centralized entities, corporate and government. At the same time, the role of the internet in society was proliferating, and the ability of the internet to play a larger and larger role in how society and the economy were organized was apparent. And it was right at this moment that Bitcoin burst onto the scene, and a ton of incredibly sharp technologists began to think more deeply about how the fundamentals of crypto could be expanded to provide a more generalized internet infrastructure that could be foundational to society and the economy. Digital tokens issued on public blockchains, intermediated by smart contracts, could unleash a trusted environment on a global scale that would be the foundation of how nearly all of the building blocks of society and the economy could be internet native. This is what drew me into the space. I could see clearly then that this would unfold and these new decentralized internet computers would achieve scale, and that it would ultimately usher in a wave of exchange that far exceeds the kinds of changes we've seen from the Internet of Information and Communications. In 2013, these ideas were considered insane. Any affiliation with Bitcoin or crypto was viewed as highly fringe, probably illegal, and for most technologists, a largely uninteresting technology development. Back then, the technology was extremely limited, slow, expensive, complex to operate. Fiduciary institutions, banks, accounting and audit firms, insurance companies, regulators were extremely hostile and deeply terrified to be associated with anything in this space. The primary focus of the media was on darknet markets, the Silk Road, and the Winklevoss twins' Bitcoin purchases. But if you actually paid attention to what most young and highly creative builders were thinking about and doing, you could see clearly that the bigger vision was going to unfold, though over what exact time scale, it was not clear. For those of us who have been building and working in this space since 2012, and many from even earlier, it's totally and utterly extraordinary where we are now. And as I like to say often, we are truly only in the very early stages of the adoption of the crypto in the world, which makes me insanely bullish today, given how far we've come in the past decade. How far have we come? A non-exhaustive list of accomplishments and technical progress. Public blockchain infrastructure has evolved into its third generation, providing global scale network computers that can handle large scale applications with trusted data, transactions, and compute. There is a massive, thriving, and growing competitive and innovative community of dozens of major blockchain network ecosystems all around the world that are constantly improving and innovating in the fundamental technology of these networks, including in data availability, compute, security, privacy, transaction throughput, and so much more. We are at the early broadband stage of blockchain networks. Guess what comes next? We are seeing breakthrough in security, privacy, and scalability based on ZK Tech and now FHE, we could see a world where crypto computing becomes the basis of most significant and important applications. There are literally tens of thousands of startups all around the world building on top of this infrastructure. Digital assets have become an accepted part of the emerging global financial system, with virtually every major government in the world setting clear rules for how digital assets can be issued, used, and traded. Bitcoin itself has become one of the largest and most important alternative investment assets on the planet. The biggest asset management firms in the world are offering products and services built on blockchain technology and offering investments into the underlying digital commodities. Crypto has become a global political issue as its importance to national competitiveness becomes clear. Governments around the world are racing to compete with one another to figure this out and ensure that innovation in this space is both responsible but also fostered. Let's go, America. I'm still waiting. We're seeing UX that unlocks consumer scale usage in ways not seen before, given a clearer view of how this will unfold for billions of users in the coming years. Most of the world's largest payments companies are actively using this technology and exploring how to expand their usage as the benefits of public chains and stablecoins become apparent to everyone. Stablecoins have exploded in scale and use. Crypto clearest killer app, unleashing digital dollars in the world, bringing more people into the future on-chain economy, and starting to fulfill the promise of banking the unbanked, lower the cost of remittances, and unlocking more seamless cross-border commerce. Stablecoins are becoming a legally defined and accepted form of digital money in nearly every major jurisdiction in the world. By the end of 2025, stablecoins will be legal electronic money almost everywhere, which sets them up to become a larger and larger portion of the $100 trillion plus market for electronic money. The infrastructure to build, deploy, and operate blockchain apps has advanced massively, with enterprise-grade products and services to help use these networks, with custody infrastructure that scales for end-user controlled self-custody to infrastructure that the world's largest banks and asset managers can depend on. Developer tools, SDKs, and knowledge are proliferating at an accelerating pace. More and more people are becoming blockchain capable. Massive consumer scale companies are bringing online apps that connect to public chains and use digital tokens for a wide array of use cases. National governments are investing in blockchain infrastructure, ecosystem development, and passing laws to provide incentives to companies to build in their regions. We're seeing more and more exciting uses of the tech, gaining traction every week, from payments to social, to gaming, to ticketing, to enterprise use cases. I could go on and on and on. But the scale of all of this right now is truly astounding compared to where we were a decade ago. Like prior waves of open internet infrastructure, this wave is growing and is coming on stronger every day and every week. And like I said earlier, we're still in the very early stages in the adoption of crypto. That's insanely bullish. What does it look like when digital tokens are a widely understood and legally used form of incentives, governance, and record keeping all around the world? What does it look like when a larger and larger portion of finance, commerce, constructs are executed and intermediated by smart contracts on public chain infrastructure? What does it look like when fourth generation blockchain networks support billions of users and millions of applications? What does it look like when on-chain organizations are legally defined and explode and compete for organizing labor and capital, consistently outperform legacy multinational corporations? What does it look like when political bodies, cities, states, nations, and new network states adopt on-chain governance and improve how democratic values are expressed in the age of the internet? What does it look like when 10% of global economic money is stablecoins, and when credit intermediation moves from fractional reserve lending to on-chain credit markets built from the ground up on safer digital cash instruments, and open up credit and debt to the long tail of supply and demand in the same way that Amazon did for commerce and AdWords did for advertising? All of this is achievable over the next 10 years. The time goes by fast, but when you zoom out and look at what has been accomplished and how that sets us up for the future, it's not hard. It's hard not to be insanely optimistic right now. All right, y'all. So kind of like what I've been saying, our whole entire economy is transitioning to the blockchain. The future of finance is on the blockchain. Just remember, some of us who are older that follow this podcast, no one was going to purchase a book on Amazon and put their credit card, right? Because they didn't trust the internet. Amazon was a bookstore. This is where we're at today with blockchain. Where are we going to be 6 months from now? Where are we going to be a year from now? And will we be fully adopted in the next 5 to 10 years? It's so super exciting. So listen, before I wrap up, I just have an announcement to make. My wife and I are heading out to the Blue Ridge for vacation next week, July 23rd. If you are local to the Black Mountain, North Carolina area, we're doing a free cryptocurrency meetup, July 23rd from 5 to 7 at the Black Mountain Library. So hope to see you all there who are local. If you're not local, and if you want to join us, we will have a Zoom link for everyone outside of the area. Join us on Zoom. Hope to see you on the 23rd. And until next week, y'all, hodl on.